Okay. Hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on Quantitative Aptitude as a part of your SSC CGL exam refresher brought to you by Talent Sprint. I hope all of you are doing well, you are healthy, and so is your preparation for this highly competitive exam, which is tentatively scheduled to start from the 1st of August. Now, we are on 13th July, so we have about 17 days left for the exam, assuming that your slot is on 1st of August, right? You know that lakhs of students are gonna appear for this exam, the SSC CGL exam, and because of which it is scheduled over 3 weeks this time, right? August 1 to August 20 are the dates which have been given in notification. So assuming that you get your examination date on the very first day itself, which can be August 1, you have only about 17 days left, so which is about 2 weeks, right? Because our strategy always has been that you should not be preparing at all in the last 2 or 3 days, right? At least in the last 2 days. So if you let's say if you consider that July 28th is the last day for you to close your preparation, you have only 14 days left, right? So 2 weeks, and I'm sure these 2 weeks are going to play a key role in your performance in the CGL exam, right? By now you should have already completed all your learning across all the topics of all the subjects, right? And you should only be practicing more and more, right? Because this is a game of practice. The more you practice, the easier it gets, right? So all the best for your preparation. I'm sure you will leave no stone unturned, right? And practice as much as you can. There's no other shortcut. Believe me, there's no shortcut. These shortcut formulae and all that we talk about do help in the exam, but depending solely on these things is again not the right strategy, right? So I think practice is the only shortcut. Keep practicing, right? Now, for the benefit of those who have recently joined our program, let me quickly mention that there's this chat box that you can see right beside the video screen. Please use that to interact with us, to get your questions answered, to get your queries addressed, and make the most out of these live sessions, right? I see that many of you have already joined, right? Those who have been participating in our live sessions are already there in the chat, and others who have recently enrolled, please make sure that you also engage yourself here, right? I can see a lot of names here. Let me just read out a few of the names. Sojanya, John Master, Abhishek, Sumit Singh, Krishna, Abhirami, Raji, Gayatri, Deepak, Swapna, Naveen, Vaishnavi, and many others there. So glad to see you all, right? And trust your preparation is in full swing, right? We also have Anil Kumar, who says Bengaluru for some reason. I don't know what was the question asked to Anil by one of you, but his answer is Bengaluru. Swapna has posted something here. Let me just read this out. I am going through the today's preparation for Bank PO every day, and I've lost the chat. Hold on. Every day I have seen the complete study plan also. How many days will it take to complete the entire syllabus? Is it sufficient if I continue to follow the tab today's preparation? Well, Swapna, I think let me explain this to you and to all of you. This section called today's preparation has been added very recently in your learning account, right? I mean, those who have joined in the last 1 week or last couple of weeks will not be aware of it, but those who have been using our platform for more than a month now will know that today's preparation has come into picture only a few days ago, right? Earlier it was all left to you as to what topic would you like to prepare today, right? You are free to decide. Even now you're free to decide. I mean, the best part of this online platform is that it gives you complete flexibility, right? You can learn anytime, anywhere, using any device, at your place and at your own pace, right? But we also felt that we should help you with some guidance, right? You may not stick to it, you may not follow the learning plan that we give you, right? But then if you are really stuck, if you are finding yourself lost, right, if you don't find how to proceed, then this today's preparation course or today's preparation section will come handy, right? What all has this got? It has got the topics that you must prepare for the day, the words of the day that you must prepare, the current affairs of the day, the daily tests for the day, and things like that, right? So I think, yeah, the idea is to kind of give you some guidance, right? We would not like to be too prescriptive about it, right? You should be free to choose your own topic. Like for example, maybe today's preparation course tells you that you should be learning profit and loss today, right? But let's say you're already good at it. I mean, you know how to solve questions from profit and loss, and you're well learned about that particular topic. Then what's the point in following that syllabus? I mean, following that schedule? You can jump to the next topic, right? The full plan is also available for you. So I think the point that I'm trying to make is, yes, there is some guidance given to you. There's some learning plan that we are trying to give you. It's not too personalized as of now. We will move to that personalized learning plan shortly, right? Our teams are working on it. But then, yeah, you're free to choose. Now to your second part of the question, where you ask that is it sufficient if I continue to follow the 2 days preparation? Well, that again depends on the person who's doing it, right? See, like I said, this is not personalized as of now, right? Like the topic that is suggested for the day is same for all the students, but I'm sure all of you will agree with me on the fact that not everybody's not everyone has to go through the same topic, right? You may already be well aware of the concepts of that particular topic, right? I mean, the strengths and weaknesses are different from person to person, right? You have your own challenges. So I think based on that, you got to modify it a little bit and go accordingly. All right. It also depends on the number of days left for your exam. Like if you enroll for our program 15 days before IBPS PO, and then if you want to stick to that study plan that we give, it will not really help, because you can't really do anything in 15 days using that plan. But what you'll have to do is, instead of preparing 1 topic a day, you have to maybe prepare for 3 topics a day or 4 topics a day, right? So that's about it. I think follow it, but keeping in mind your own strengths and your own weaknesses and your knowledge on some of the topics, you're free to choose. You're free to decide on your own plan. Okay. All right. We also have Sushant Singh, Akanksha Srivastava, Akash Trivedi, Akhil, and others there. Akhil has asked me a question, by the way. I'm just trying to address a few of the concerns before we get into the problem solving for the day. Akhil's query is that is machine input output a part of SSC CGL syllabus? No, machine input output is not a part of the SSC CGL exam syllabus. We also have Smriti, Priyanka, Murali, Sumit, Dilip Kumar, and others there. Swapna, by the way, has posted the same comment multiple times. I think I've already addressed that. Yeah. Nilab wants me to start. Nilab will start soon. I actually have a couple of questions that I want to ask all of you before we start solving the questions. So just allow me a few minutes. Anything else there? Yeah, we have Nilesh, Chaudhary, Vaishnavi, Satish. Satish says, how many questions are asked in geometry and trigonometry? Well, there is no hard and fast rule that these many questions have to be asked in geometry and trigonometry. It varies from exam to exam, from set to set, right? So, but yeah, I think out of 25 questions, you should expect about 8-9 questions from trigonometry and geometry alone. Yeah. Okay. Akhil has got one more question, by the way. From reasoning, syllogism condition does not follow basic diagram. It's always false. But in complementary pair, there is any difference? Please answer. Well, Akhil, I think this is more to do with reasoning. So let's park it for your next session, right? Whenever we do a session on general intelligence and reasoning, or reasoning doubts clarification, we'll discuss that, because some of us are already getting impatient with the session for the day, right? So we'll quickly jump to problem solving for today's session. Yeah, I think that's about it. There are no more questions. There's one question or maybe 2 questions that I have for all of you. Let me ask those questions and then we'll jump into this refresher session on quantitative aptitude. Now, I actually wanted to understand how many of you take these exams. Session is on SSC CGL, but my question is for both SSC and bank exams, right? How many of you take this exam in Hindi? You know that both the bank exams and the SSC exams are bilingual, right? English as well as Hindi, and you're free to choose the language, right? Like when you start the exam, they ask you to choose the language, right? Is it English or Hindi? So my question is, how many of you take this exam in Hindi? And I want you to just comment. No, don't say me, I, yes, because I get confused with such answers. I think put English or Hindi as a comment, right? Do you take the exam in English or do you take the exam in Hindi? if you had noticed, we are also trying to conduct a survey on the same. Many of you would have participated in this message that was popping up in your learning account, right? So please mention English or Hindi. I would like to understand what percentage of you take this exam in Hindi. When I say Hindi, I mean the Devanagari script Hindi, right? I mean, like, you actually get the questions in proper Hindi. So looks like most of you do it in Hindi. Yeah, everybody so far has marked English here. Anyone who's willing to take this in Hindi? No one so far. Yeah, and thank you so much for responding. I mean, this is great. I can just see the chat running through. Yeah, Sumit, I think, is the first one who has mentioned Hindi. Sumit has mentioned Hindi, and who else? I think Sumit and Ayushi Tripathi. These two have mentioned that they take the exam in Hindi. How about others? All others are in English, right? I mean, are taking the exam in English. Yeah. Good. So I think we've got a lot of response to this particular question. In fact, some new names have also come up. Biprajit Malik says he takes it in English. I've not seen you participating in the chat before, so I think I should keep asking such questions so that all of you start, interacting. Kiran Usha says RRB ka she takes in Hindi, but otherwise English. Sarmishta takes it in English. Yeah. Where is the study plan for SSC? I think Sachindra, the study plan for SSC is also there in the today's preparation section that we have. Nayan says only RRB in Hindi. Yeah. Good. So thank you guys. I think I've got enough responses there, and clearly the majority of you take this exams in English, right? Except a few, and is that too, I think it's about RRB and not the other exams. Good. That will give us some insight, and we will plan things accordingly. All right, so that's about it. Let me quickly get into the session now. So today's session, like you all know, is on quantitative aptitude. This is focused more on the SSC CGL tier 1 exam, but then useful for bank exams as well, right? Because the questions that we discuss today will be common for both bank and SSC exams. Now, I'm sure the one question that strikes you immediately is, what about those topics which are only in SSC, like trigonometry, geometry, algebra, surds and indices, etc. Like you all must be aware, we are doing special live sessions to cover those topics, right? The idea is these sessions that we conduct on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays have to be useful for both bank as well as SSC exams. So we are restricting ourselves to only common topics, but these special and exclusive topics are being discussed through the special live sessions which are being conducted on Fridays, right? Every Friday at 6 p.m. So last Friday we had a session on algebra, if you remember, right? And tomorrow, again Friday, we'll be having a session on geometry where we'll take up questions on topics like triangles, circles, quadrilaterals, etc. So follow the events calendar that you have in your dashboard to know more about these details on various sessions that we have. And yeah, make sure that you participate in all the sessions. One last point before we get into the discussion, I am glad to announce that the team talent sprint will be in Haldwani on the 22nd of July. We have a seminar on 5 habits that you must kick to crack bank and SSC exams, right? This seminar is being held in Haldwani on the 22nd of July from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. The venue details and all will be made available shortly through our YouTube channel and Facebook pages. So if you are from Haldwani or a place around and it's easy for you to reach Haldwani, please participate in this free seminar brought to you by Talent Sprint. I would love to meet you all in person, right? And if you know people in Haldwani, your friends or colleagues or relatives who are from that place, please share this information with them and ask them to participate in this free seminar on 5 habits that you must kick to crack bank and SSC exams. We'll discuss more on this a little later. Let us get into the session now. So I'll share my screen with all of you, which has got these questions that we have chosen, right? Especially for SSC CGL exam. I'll give you some time to try this out and then give you the right solution. So let's start. I'm sure all of you can see the shared screen without any difficulty. And here's the first question. So the first question for the session today is on your screens now. See what it says. In a class of 180 students, 50 passed in history and geography, 50 in history and sociology, 13 sociology and geography, and 10 students passed in all three subjects. No students have failed in all the three subjects. Find the total number of students who passed in history only, geography only, and sociology only. The options given to us are 65, 75, 70, and 60. So I think a question on set theory, I mean, you can solve this question using the concepts of set theory, right, where you draw Venn diagrams, or you can also frame equations if you want. Follow the method which is most convenient to you. I'll give you about a minute to try this. Your time starts now. And let's see how many of you get the right answer. Not a very difficult one in my view. You should be able to crack this in about 40 seconds maximum. How many students have passed in only one of the subjects is the question. Only history or only geography or only sociology. Right? Okay, Preeti Kumari's question was, where is Haldwani? Well, yeah. So let me add to your general awareness. Haldwani is in Uttarakhand, right? In the state of Uttarakhand. I think it is very close to Nainital, by the way. I wish I can reach Nainital as well after the seminar, but let's see. Okay, so 70 is the first response that I get. Nayan has got the answer as 70, but Venkat says it should be 60. So a difference in opinion in the very first responses. Chaitanya has also got 60, waiting for others to respond. Quick. Remember, it's not just about the right answer, but also about how quickly do you get the answer there. So 70 and 60 are the two different responses that we have got so far. Gayatri has got option C, which is 75. So three types of answers have already come in: 60, 70, and 75. Naman Agarwal and Bhavani have got 70. Preeti Kumari has got 60. Sindhuja has got 60. Waiting for more responses to come in. Looks like you're confused between 60 and 70, right? Is it 60 or 70? Let's see. Manoja has got 70. Then Sumit has got 60. The other Sumit has got 70. Ajit has got 60. Well, I thought this is a sitter, right? Shouldn't be difficult, but doesn't look like from your responses. Yeah, okay, Anil Kumar has got 65. So some weightage there for option A, 65. And with this, we cover all the four options, right? 60 and 70 were the two most common responses. One of you had mentioned C, which was 75. I think it was Gayatri. And now we have Anil Kumar, who has got 65. So all the four options have been given, and I think it's time that we discuss the solution now, right? So let's look at it. I am not very happy with your responses. I thought all of you will get the right answer or the same answer. Right or wrong is not important, but yeah, not all of you have got the same answer there. And the clash is between 60 and 70. So let's take it up. Here we go. Look at the question. In a class of 180 students, 50 passed in history and geography, 50 in history and sociology, 30 in sociology and geography, and 10 students passed in all three subjects. No students have failed in all the three subjects. Find the total number of students who have passed in history only, geography only, and sociology only, right? Options given are 65, 70, 75, and 60. So basically he says that there is a class of 180 students. The total strength is 180. 50 of these students have passed in history and geography. 50 have passed in history and sociology, and 30 have passed in sociology and geography. And there are 10 students who have passed in all the three subjects. 10 students who have passed in all the three subjects, and no students have failed in all the three subjects. No students have failed in all the three subjects. So there's no student who's failed in all the three subjects, right? I mean, students could have failed in one subject or two subjects, but none of them have failed in all the three subjects. So that's also an important data point. Now he says find the total number of students who have passed in history only, geography only, and sociology only. So we are looking at those students who have passed in only one of the subjects. It could be either history or geography or sociology. All right. Now clearly the total strength is 180, and there are three subjects. There are three types of subjects that we talked about, right? History, geography, and sociology. Now I think the easiest way to solve this question would be to go by the concept of Venn diagrams, right? Set theory. So what do? We represent each item with the help of a circle. It's represented using a set. So and the combination of these sets is what is called a Venn diagram, right? So there are three subjects here. Let's represent each subject with the help of a circle, right? And you know that the Venn diagram to be drawn will be as follows, right? These are the three subjects. Let's say the first one represents history, the second one is geography, and the third one here is sociology. These are the three subjects. And then there is a universal set. This rectangle here is the universal set. So basically what we are trying to say is that the total value of this rectangle or total value of this box here is 180. Why is it 180? Because total number of students are 180. Now these 180 students have been distributed across different regions here. If you see, there are 8 different regions. I mean, I'm not willing to go back to the basics, but if you have to quickly look at it, what are the 8 different regions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. You're getting it? Like this is A, B, C, this is D, E, F, right? D, E, F, G and H. And each region represents one type of item. Like for example, A shows those students, A represents those students who have passed only in history. Remember, A is this region. There's no overlapping between any of these regions here, right? A is that region which shows students passed only in history. B shows students passed only in geography, right? I mean, if I have to highlight what I'm actually talking about, B is this region. B is this region here, right? This region, students who have passed only in geography. C is the students who have passed only in sociology. What about D plus G? D plus G is the students who have passed in history and geography. History and geography. F plus G, students who have passed in geography and sociology. E plus G, students who have passed in history and sociology. What is D? D represents those students who have passed in history and geography only. D is a combination of history and geography only. It doesn't include sociology. Similarly, you can find out about F and E. Right? What about H? H is outside these three regions, right? So H is those students who have failed in all the three subjects or who have passed in none of the subjects. Passed in none of the subjects is as good as failed in all the three subjects, right? And then what is G? G is the most overlapped region here. G is covered in H, is covered in G, is covered in S. So it shows those students who have passed in all the three subjects. So some numbers have been given to us in the question. We have to allocate those numbers into these different regions and then find out the answer. What is the required answer? He's asking us to find out the total number of students who have passed in history only, geography only and sociology only. Now what is history only? A. A is the region that shows history only. See, how many students have passed in history? How many students have passed in history? It's not A. The number of students who have passed in history is A plus D plus G plus E. Number of students who have passed in geography is B plus D plus G plus F. In sociology, it is C plus F plus G plus E. But number of students who have passed in history only, the keyword only is very important here. You understand? Questions in set theory, the word only plays a key role. Right? Only is what? History only is A. Geography only is B. Sociology only is C. So basically, the required answer in the question is A plus B plus C. Right? Number of students who have passed in history only, geography only and sociology only is A plus B plus C equals to what? Now it's all about filling the values here, right? So let me just clear these variables that we have used, right? And then enter the values, numerical values. So look at this. I have discussed this very clearly in the video as well, the video on set theory, that always start with the innermost region. Whenever you're filling up the values, you should always fill what is the centermost region first, then the three leaves, and then the outermost regions, right? It's an inside out operation. Then it becomes easier. So here, if you see, he says 10 students passed in all the three subjects. We know that all the three subjects, students passed in all the three subjects is shown by this region. So 10 have passed in all the three subjects. So 10 comes there. Now look at the other three values. There are three more values given to us. What is it? 50 passed in history and geography. 50 have passed in history and geography. See, what is history and geography? History and geography is this leaf. History and geography total is this leaf. He's not mentioned that 50 have passed in history and geography only. He says 50 have passed in history and geography. So it includes this whole region. Out of 50, 10 have already come here. So can you say remaining 40 comes here? Yes. Now if you see, history and geography together is 40 plus 10, 50. Similarly, 50 have passed in history and sociology. History and sociology. This leaf is 50. But again, same, out of 50, 10 has come here. So remaining 40, the balance 40 has to come here. Right? 40 plus 10 is 50. And then 30 have passed in sociology and geography. See, total of this is 30. Total of this is 30. 10 plus this should be 30. So this should be 20. You're getting it? Sociology and geography is 30. So 10 plus 20 is 30. Getting it? Now suppose if the question says how many have passed in history and geography only? History and geography only is 40. Right? How many have passed in geography and sociology only? Geography and sociology only is 20. History and sociology only 40. All three anyway it's 10. Now, how do we get A, B and C? Well, finding out individual values of A, B and C is not possible here, right? Because enough data has not been given to us. But then he's not asking us to find out A or B or C, right? The question is about A plus B plus C. H is equal to 0 by the way. H is equal to 0. Why? No students have failed in all the three subjects. So that makes H 0. Now A plus B plus C, can I say A plus B plus C is total 180 minus all the other values? Yes. So A plus B plus C will be equal to 180 minus these values. So 180 minus 40 minus 40 minus 20 minus 10 minus 0, because this region also has to be included, right? A plus B plus C. So 40 and 40 is 80, 80 plus 10, 80 plus 20 is 100, 100 plus 10 is 110. So minus 110, 180 minus 110, 70 is the final answer. So option B, 70 is the answer to this question. Please do not go by the length of the explanation. I was explaining this to you. When you solve it yourself, it wouldn't take more than 30 seconds. So I think 30 seconds to get 1 mark here without committing any mistake, right? This is a very simple question. All you have to do is pay attention to the words, right? And these words like only are very important, right? Only, geography only, sociology only, history only. And based on the question, try to find out the answer, right? Multiple questions can be asked. Like the question can say, how many of them have passed in history and sociology only? History and sociology only is 40. Suppose the question says, how many of them have passed in exactly 2 subjects? How many of them, or find the total number of students who have passed in exactly 2 subjects. Now exactly 2 subjects means what? 40 plus 20. Because these 40 have passed only in 2 subjects. These 20 have also passed in only 2 subjects. And these 40 have passed in only 2 subjects. So 40 plus 20, 100 will be the answer. How many have passed in exactly 3 subjects? 10. How many have passed in more than 2 subjects? More than 2 subjects, what's the answer? 10 again. More than 2 subjects. More than 2 subjects means what? They have to pass in all the 3 subjects, which is 10. How many of them have passed in more than 1 subject? More than 1 subject would mean 2 subjects plus 3 subjects. So 40 plus 20 plus 40 plus 10. You're getting it? So based on the question, pick up the values and get the required answer. The answer to this question would be 70, option B. I hope all of you have followed this, right? Now my question is to those who have got 60, 65, 75 as the answers. What made you get those answers there, right? Easy. Easy, right? 4 of the values have been given, distribute them properly and then find out the balance. So any questions? Is it clear? Can we go to the next one? I think a few more of you have joined, right? Amit Kumar, Ram Babu and Abhijit, Pooja, Sneka and others. All right, can we go to the next one? Mahata has asked a question. If asked passed only in 1 subject. Mahata, I think what we have solved is the same thing, right? Passed only in 1 subject. See, sociology only means what? He has passed only in sociology. History only means what? He has passed only in history. So if the question says how many students have passed only in 1 subject, the answer would remain the same, 70, right? But suppose the question says how many of them have passed in history only. Answer cannot be determined. From the data, answer cannot be determined because of these 70 students, how many have passed in history only is not known to us. How many have passed in geography only is not known to us. But how many of them have passed in only one of the subjects is very clearly 70. Yeah? Should we go for the next one? Clear to all of you? Yeah, so I hope all of you have understood where you have gone wrong, right? Many of you got 60, 65, 75 as the answers there. Let's move to the next question now. Here we go. So the next question on your screens now. I think this has been taken up from the discussion forum. It was posted by Abhay. Look at what the question says. P, Q and R are 3 typists who working simultaneously can type 216 pages in 4 hours. Right? So a question on time and work looks like that, right? In 1 hour, R can type as many pages more than Q as Q can type more than P. During a period of 5 hours, R can type as many pages as P can during 7 hours. How many pages does each of them type per hour? Now we do not have the answer options here, otherwise we could have played with the options, but then I'm sure you can write the equations and solve those equations to get the required answer. You have 1 minute as usual. Time has started now. So let's see how many of you get the right answer. You have to find out 3 answers basically. How many pages is each of them type per hour? How many pages does each of them type per hour? So number of pages per hour by P, by Q and by R. Got it? 22, 18 and 14. Naman Agarwal has got 22, 18 and 14. Yeah, for R, Q and P in that order. Pallavi says, I'm not able to watch SSC algebra session which I missed. Well, Pallavi, I think it should have been archived by now into your account. I think you should get updated in the events calendar as well. Let's just wait for that to happen. Neeraj Jha says 120 days, I guess, last year SSC CGL. What is 120 days? He's not asking about number of days here, right, Neeraj? The question is how many pages does each of them type per hour? And Naman is the only one who's got the answer. All others are still trying it out. See, if you are stuck, if you are unable to solve it, if you'd like to skip it, just mention that in the chat so that I can figure out what's happening at your end, right? Like Raj Sri has just mentioned that is not getting the answer to this question, which is fine, absolutely fine, but do mention that so that I know if you are involved in the question or you're stuck or you're not able to solve or you're still trying or anything like that, right? Got it? Okay, so Shan Singh has got 15, 18, 21. Abhijit has got 21, 18, 18. Pooja says she's not able to solve. And I think so is the case with Mohit Pal, Meenakshi, Chaitanya, Ramesh, Ajit, Nisha, and others there, right? Preeti Kumari, Naveen, Chandra Neeraj, Saujanya, Abhishek Bhaskar, Rashmi Nayak, Prabhakar Paul, Deepak, Smriti Priyanka, Shalini, and others there, and Vimal and Bhanupriya. Swati has got 27. I don't know what 27 means there. And then if I look at some other responses, Nayan says it should be 15, 18, 21. Rishika has got 15, 21, 18. Nilesh has got 15, 18, 21. Shruti has got 21, 18, 15. In some order there, right? Shomu Banerjee has got what? 15, 18, 21. Yeah. So looks like 15, 18, 21 is the most common response here among those who have got it. But most of you are struck. Meenakshi says this question has been taken from R.S. Agarwal book. Well, Meenakshi, only Abhay can confirm where he has taken it from. But yeah, many of you have not been able to solve. And guys, let me tell you, it's disappointing again, right? Because I thought this is simple, straight. I was wondering if I should be taking up this question for the session today, considering that it's very easy. But no, many of you have failed to get the answer. Which makes me tell you that you are not fully ready for the exam, because if you cannot crack this one, then it's going to be difficult, right? The competition is huge. There are a lot of students who are going to vie for that one seat that is available, right? And in such a huge competition, you can't be skipping or leaving such easy questions. Anyway, let's discuss this. I'm sure once the solution is discussed, you'll feel like, oh, this was simple, right? I could have done it myself. So let me quickly share the screen and discuss the solution with you all. Here we go. So look at the question. P, Q, and R are three typists who working simultaneously can type 216 pages in 4 hours. In 1 hour, R can type as many pages more than Q as Q can type more than P. During a period of 5 hours, R can type as many pages as P can during 7 hours. How many pages does each of them type per hour? Right, so interesting question from time and work, and I think it's all about framing the equations properly, right? So if you see, the first part of the question says P, Q, R are three typists who working simultaneously can type 216 pages in 4 hours. 216 pages in 4 hours. Let us assume that the number of pages typed by P per hour is P, typed by Q per hour is Q, and number of pages typed by R per hour is R. No, number of pages per hour. I'm talking about pages per hour. How many pages do they type per hour? Now, if you read the first statement, it says P, Q, and R together can type 216 pages in 4 hours. 216 pages in 4 hours. So can I say P plus Q plus R is equal to 216 by 4, which is 54, right? They have together typed 216 in 4 hours. So per hour they will type 54. So P per hour plus Q plus R per hour will be equal to 54. Next point, in 1 hour, R can type as many pages more than Q as Q can type more than P. Now this is very important. I mean, you should be able to frame the equation properly. In 1 hour, so when you're talking about 1 hour, you can take the variables as P, Q, and R, right? That's what is the capacity per hour. R can type as many pages more than Q as Q can type more than P. See, so in 1 hour, R can type as many more than Q. What is R more than Q? R is more than Q by R minus Q. Basically, R can type more than Q. How much more than Q? R minus Q. As, which means equal to Q more than P. Q can type more than P. What is Q more than P? Q minus P. So the difference between R and Q is same as the difference between Q and P according to the question. R can type as many pages more than Q as Q can type more than P. So R minus Q equals Q minus P. The difference between R and Q is same as the difference between Q and P. And since he has clearly specified that R can type more than Q and Q can type more than P, you have to take R minus Q equals to Q minus P. If you take P minus Q here, it gives you a wrong equation. And then the last statement says during a period of 5 hours, R can type as many pages as P can during 7 hours. So you know that R can type R pages per hour. So how many will R type in 5 hours? 5 hours. Similarly, P can type P pages per hour. So how many can P type during 7 hours? 7P. The statement here says during 5 hours, R can type as many pages as many pages as means equal to 5 hour is equal to 7P. R's capacity in 5 hours is equal to P's capacity of 7 hours. These are the three equations. Three equations, 1, 2 and 3, and three unknowns, P, Q and R. Can you solve to get the required answers? Yes. What is he asking us to find out? How many pages does each of them type per hour? So P equals to what? Q equals to what? And R equals to what? That's the question. You have to find the number of pages typed by each per hour. How many pages can they type per hour? Now I think even before you solve the equations, the first thing that you should verify, and this is what is smart, right? You have to use smart techniques to eliminate the wrong answers. From this second equation, it's very clear that R is greater than Q and Q is greater than P. See, R can type as many pages more than Q. So R is more than Q, as Q can type more than P in 1 hour. So R should be more than Q and Q should be more than P. So basically R is greater than Q is greater than P. That's what I get to know from the second statement or from the second equation. I'll quickly verify which of these options satisfy this condition. If you are lucky and only one option satisfies this, where R is more than Q and Q is more than P, you blindly mark that as the answer and go to the next one. You're able to follow. R has to be more than Q and Q has to be more than P according to the question. No need to solve the question, just verify for those conditions. But unfortunately, we have not been given the options here. If options were given, we could have eliminated. I'm sure at least 1 or 2 options get eliminated. So even if you're like solving this question in the last few seconds, if you're in a hurry, you can do that kind of an elimination and take a chance between the other 2 options, right? But since we don't have that luxury, let's solve the question fully here. So look at it now. What do we get? I think from this equation, I can say R plus P equals to 2Q. R plus P equals to 2Q, right? I mean, if you shift the variables properly, right? R plus P comes out to be 2Q. Now here, R plus P can be taken as 2Q. See, we already know P plus Q plus R is 54. So I'm substituting this back in the first equation. So what do we get? R plus P is 2Q plus Q. So 2Q plus Q, 3Q. 3Q is 54, which implies Q is equal to 18. Now verify this. Don't solve the remaining part of the question. Now verify in which of these options is Q equal to 18. If there is only one option where Q is 18, that's the answer. Otherwise, proceed for the next step. So there are 2 conditions that we have verified. Condition number 1 to be verified is R should be more than Q should be more than P. If only one option satisfies, well and good. If there are multiple options, proceed for the next step. In the next step, the first thing that should be finding is Q equals to 18. Then check in which of these 2 options which are left out or which of these remaining options Q is 18. If there's only one option where Q is 18, that's the answer. Otherwise, go to the next step. So this way, you should kind of eliminate the answer options. Don't do the complete solution. Don't do the complete solution, right? Partial solution may give you the correct answer option many times. Anyway, we've got P equals to 8, Q equals to 18. If Q is 18, can I say R plus P equals to 36? Because total is 54. From 54, if I subtract 18, I am left with 36. So I can say R plus P equals to 36. Now R plus P equals to 36 is one equation. 5R equals to 7P is other equation. 2 equations in 2 variables. Can we solve? Yes. Solve for it now. So can I say R is equal to 7P by 5 from this one? Substitute this back here. That's what you do, right? I mean, equations, just use one equation in the other one to get the answers. So from this, I know R equals to 7P by 5. Substitute that here. So 7P by 5 plus P equals 36. So I think this will come out to be 12P by 5 equals to 36. 12 goes 3 times. P by 5 equals to 3. P equals to 15. I'm doing the calculation mentally. I'm not writing all the steps there. P equals to 15. That's it. If P is 15, verify which of these options has got P equals to 15. If there's only one option, that's the answer. Otherwise, finally, you will get the last step which will give you all the 3 values. So P is 15. Q is 18. Right? Now substitute P equals to 15 here. What will we get? If P is 15, R should be 21. That's it. So these are the values. Let me highlight. We've got all 3 values. Q equals to 18, P equals to 15, and R equals to 21. And you see, it satisfies the condition. R is 21, which is greater than Q, 18, which is greater than P, 15. So if you have to answer P, Q, R, it should be 15, 18, 21. 15, 18, 21 is the final answer. 15, 18, 21. I'm sure all of you followed the solution. There's nothing complex about it. I'm still wondering as to why most of you have skipped this question or got stuck. Simple, right? Do not go by the length of the explanation, right? I am explaining this, so it's obviously going to take more time when compared to how you do it independently. And yeah, follow elimination, right? Don't do the complete solution. Just try and eliminate the answer options. So many times it so happens that you're just halfway the solution, but you know that only one option satisfies the given conditions. Smart. Mark that as the answer and go to the next one. Clear? Can we move to the next one? Okay, Sachindra has got a question here. How can you say R can type as many pages more than Q equals to R minus Q? See, I think that's what is important, right? You have to understand, decipher the statement, convert that to a equation, mathematical equation. R can type as many pages more than Q as Q can type more than P. So the point that is being made there is the number of pages which R types more than Q is same as the number of pages which Q types more than P. Now, how many pages is R type more than Q? R minus Q. Yes or no? Number of pages that R types more than Q is R minus Q. The number of pages that Q types more than P is Q minus P. So R minus Q is as good as Q minus P. Equate, you'll get the answer. Right? Any more questions there? Again, you have asked, okay, how is 5R equals to 7Z? That's also the condition there, right? During a period of 5 hours, R can type as many pages as P can type in 7 hours. Whatever R can do in 5 hours is equal to the work done by P in 7 hours. Now we know that R can do R in 5 hours, in 1 hour. So in 5 hours, 5 hour. Yeah, 5 hours, 5 hour. Okay. What P can do per hour is P. In 7 hours, 7P. 5 hour is as good as 7P. Yeah. So I think you should be feeling bad. I mean, not Sachindra, but all those who have not got the answer, who were stuck, you should feel bad and disappointed, man. How can you not get the answer to this question? Simple. Ankita Sharma says, I've not started quant yet. All those excuses will not help, Ankita. And if you haven't started yet, you are like too late now. You should be pulling your socks up and do it really. Ajit has got 9, 18, 27. No. 9, 18, 27 is not the answer. Chalo, so shall we go for the next one? Any more questions here? Sachindra has again asked me the same thing. How can you say R can type as many pages more than Q is equal to R minus Q? Sachindra, I've already explained this. Looks like you're a little behind in the stream there. R can type as many pages more than Q. Can we go to the next one? Ramesh says, I'm not able to understand the problem correctly. Ramesh, I think I'll do one thing. We'll move to the next question now because we have very limited time for these sessions. I would request you to go through this video once it gets added to your account tomorrow, right? Within 24 working hours, we'll add this video to your learning account. Follow it again. I'm sure you'll get it yourself, right? Let's move to the next one. Okay. I'm sharing the screen again to present the next question to you all. All right. Satish, can you confirm? Yeah, I think many of you have confirmed that I can go to the next question. Yeah, all right. So let me present the next question to you all. Here we go. This was posted by Neeraj Jha. This is from Profit and Loss. It says there is 210% profit on the cost price of an item. If the cost price is increased by 40%, keeping the selling price constant, then the profit will be what percent of the selling price? Okay, Ramesh has mentioned that he has got it after the explanation. Thanks. So this is another one from Profit and Loss. Interesting question. Let's see how many of you get the right answer. Options have not been given, so it's even more challenging. Your time starts now. Got it? All right. Answers have started coming in, and I think most of you have got, in fact, all of you have got 33.33%, right? Let me just read out. I'm glad that you guys have got some answer here. So starting with Prabhakar Ball, he said 50%. Then Jagannath got 30. And after that, I think it's the same answer. 33.33 by Sushant Singh, Rishika Menon, Kritika Datta, Venkat, Revati Sharma, Tanya. Prabhakar has also changed the answer to 33.33. Vaishnavi, Krishna, Mamta, Ajit, Isha, Naveen, Nisha, Deepak, Ramesh, Akash, Minakshi, Venkatesh, Chandraniraj, Srinivas. Srinivas has got 53.33. Okay, so that's a change, but I think all others have got 33.33. Abhishek, Ayushi Tripathi has got 80, which is again quite different from what others have got. Shailendra has got 12.1. Divya has got 50. Preeti Kumari says 33.33. Bhanupriya has got 33.33. Manas has got 54. Sumit, Murli, Satish, all these guys have got 33.33. Swati has got 21.4. And wow, Swapna has got 94.8. All others have got 33.33. Then I think one or two of you have got 54.83. Anubha, Smriti, Priyanka, and Sarmishta, Harsh. You guys have got 54.83, right? Yashwant Kumar, Sarmishta, Shomu Banerjee, and Malbika Mohanty has got 12.1. Good. So I think many of you have got the answer. I'm glad in the first place that many of you have got the answer. Look at the number of responses that we have got. The most common answer is 33.33, followed by 54.83, right? And then I think one or two of you have got 12.1 there. So let's discuss this now. Let's take it up. I'm sure all those who have got 33.33 are either right or have committed the same mistake. Okay, so let's take it up. The question was posted by Neeraj Jha. It says there is 210% profit on the cost price of an item. If the cost price is increased by 40%, keeping the selling price constant, then the profit will be what percent of the selling price? I'd like to read the question once again. Because I'm sure a lot of you will not read the question properly and end up committing a mistake here. There is a 210% profit on the cost price of an item. If the cost price is increased by 40%, keeping the selling price constant, then the profit will be what percent of the selling price? Then the profit will be what percent of the selling price? All right. I'm sure those who have already solved it and got some answer have at least realized where they have gone wrong. Let's discuss the solution immediately. So there is a 210% profit on the cost price of an item. I'm just going to play with numbers because eventually this question is about percentage only, right? He's asking us to find out the percentage profit. So it doesn't really matter what values you choose, right? We may not know the exact value, but percentage answer will be the same for whatever be the values. So there is a 210% profit in the cost price of an item. Let's assume the cost price is 100. The profit is 210%. So what should be the selling price? It should be 310 rupees. No questions on this, right? Within no time, you should know that the selling price is 310 rupees because profit is 210% of what? 210% of the cost price. 210% of 100 is 210. So selling price is 100 plus 210, right? Selling price is cost price plus profit. So 100 plus 210% of 100 is 310. Selling price comes out to be 310. This is the first statement, right? Values according to the first statement. Then he says if the cost price is increased by 40%, cost price is increased by 40%. Now tell me, what will be the new cost price? C dash. Cost price has been increased by 40%. So 100 plus 40% of 100, which gives you 140, right? The cost price is 140. keeping the selling price constant. The selling price is constant, implies the selling price S dash is equal to the original selling price, which is 310. Then the profit will be what percent of the selling price. Now, what is the profit from these two? What is the profit? You know that profit is selling price minus cost price, S dash minus C dash. So 310 minus 140. How much will that come out to be? 170. So the profit is equal to 170. But then he's not asking us to find out the profit. He says the profit will be what percent of the selling price. Just treat this question like X is what percent of Y. X will be what percent of Y. X is what percent of Y? X by Y into 100. So profit will be what percentage? Profit will be what percentage of selling price? Profit by selling price into 100. P dash by S dash into 100. What is P dash? P dash is 170. What is S dash? 310 into 100. Remember, it is customary that the profit is usually calculated on cost price. In general, it is calculated on cost price. But in this particular question, very clearly, he had specified that the profit should be taken on the selling price. Profit is what percentage of the selling price. And I'm sure 90% of us will commit this mistake while solving this question. You will solve it as 170 by 140 into 100 because you're in a hurry. But the question says, what is 170 of 310? Simplify this, 170 by 310 into 100. See, 50% of 310 is how much? It'll be 155. This is a little more than that, right? It'll come out around 54, 55%. I'm not going to do the exact calculation. Around 54%, like some of you have got, approximately 54. And you can look at the answer options and decide. I'm sure if answer options are given, we don't have to do the complete calculation. You can eliminate the wrong answers very easily. All right? So 54%, approximately 54% is the answer to this question. I'm not doing the complete calculation. You can do it yourself. 54% is the answer. 54% is the final answer. 54%, 54.83%. $33.33. I was again disappointed to see. The one thing which I liked is all of you have committed the same mistake, right? Everybody got 33.33. But how 33.33 is still a question. Yeah. Anyways, the answer is 54%, approximately 54%. And now tell me how many of you are feeling bad about this. I mean, simple question, just play with numbers. 100 becomes 140, 310 remains 310. What's the new profit percentage on selling price? And then even if you take it on cost price, you won't get 33.33%, right? How do you get 33.33%? Profit is 170, cost price is 140. So even if you calculate the regular profit percentage, it will be 170 by 140 into 100, which is more than 100%. So how did you on planet get 33.33? I mean, what made you get 33.33? And let me tell you guys, if you are not solving such easy questions properly, you're not fit for the exam. You are out of the race. You may go and take the exam, but you're already lost it. I may be sounding discouraging today, but I think you got to realize that. Neeraj has confirmed that he has got it. Thanks for acknowledging that, Neeraj. But all others must be feeling bad. I mean, I'm glad about those who have got 54% is the answer, 54.83. Anubha says she's happy this time. Yeah, you should be happy about your solution because the majority of the Janta got 33.33, right? Sushant Singh says all of us took selling price as 210. Now that's not a mistake, it's a crime. If you take selling price as 210, you have not committed a mistake, you have committed a crime. There is a 210% profit on the cost price. 210% profit means what? Profit is 210, right? If the cost price is 100, profit is 210. And total selling price in that case would be what? 310. 54.83, yeah. Sharmishta has done the complete calculation, the 54 point something approximately. Yeah. Can we go to the next one? Any questions here? It's a simple question. It is a simple question. All of you have committed a blunder. Chalo, shall we jump to the next one now? And I'm also feeling bad. I mean, not a single question so far has got a response is like, yeah, all of us have got it. I think the funniest part is all of you have considered the same, committed the same mistake, is it? I mean, 1, 2, 3 of you getting 33.33 is understood. 10 of you getting 33.33%, the answer is understood. But all of you, most of you considered 33.33, I mean, got 33.33 means what? You have considered the selling price to be 210. So something should be wrong with me, right? In that case, because all of you have learned through our videos. I should go back and check the profit and loss videos. Have I not made it clear? The profit is 10%, selling price is 110. Profit is 20%, selling price is 120%. Profit is 30%, selling price is 130%. Profit is 43%, selling price will be 143%. Profit is 69%, selling price will be 169%. Profit is 72%, selling price will be 172%. All these percentages are on cost price. Profit is 37.62%, selling price will be 137.62%. Profit is 92.83%, selling price is going to be 192.83%. Profit is 77.7777%. Selling price is going to be 177.7777%. Profit is 210%. Selling price will be 310%. 310% of what? The cost price. Cost price is 100 here. 310% of 100 is 310. How? How do you go wrong here? Guys, be careful. This is not acceptable. Anyways, let me jump to the next one now. And here we go. So the next question on your screens now. In a school, 391 and 323 girls have been divided into the largest possible equal classes, so that each class of boys numbers the same as each class of girls. What is the number of classes? Interesting question, right? There are 391 boys and 323 girls. They've been divided into the largest possible equal classes. So that each class of boys numbers the same as each class of girls. What is the number of classes? Very interesting. I'll give you a lot more than what we usually have for solving this question. Let's see how many of you get the right answer. And by the time you guys solve this one, let me grab something. I'm hungry. $17 is the answer, huh? Yeah. The most common answer is 17. I think the only answer that I've got so far is 17. Good. I'm happy that all of you are consistent. Now, consistently right or wrong, we'll figure out. But 17 is what it looks like. I'm sorry if you can hear me munching something, but I'm damn hungry. Okay, let me solve this now. I'm happy that you got the answer really quick. I think I was assuming it'll take a lot longer. I mean, more than what you have done now, but good. So 17, huh? Most of you have got 17. I think almost all of you have got 17 except Neeraj Jha, who's got 42, and there's one more person who's got 42. Who's that? Mohit Pal has got 42. Yeah. All others have got 17. Sharmishta says this was an easy one. 17 is the answer. Mohit has also changed the answer to 17. Yeah. So I think only one person has got 42 as the answer, which is Neeraj Jha. Neeraj, something should be wrong with you, man. You know, nobody else has got 42. And the fact that everybody has got 17 shows that 17 could be the answer. I'm just thinking on my feet. I'm not sure if 17 is right or wrong. We'll figure that out, but looks like Neeraj, you are the only one. The whole Janta is against you. Shomu Banerjee has asked 42, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. So he's asking me if 42 is the right answer. I don't know. Let's try it out. So here we go. In a school, 391 boys and 323 girls have been divided into the largest possible equal classes. So that each class of boys numbers the same as each class of girls. What is the number of classes? So let me reread the question and explain this to you, right? In a school, 391 boys and 323 girls have been divided into the largest possible equal classes, such that each class of boys numbers the same as each class of girls. Now, what do you mean by this statement here? Each class of boys numbers the same as each class of girls. Means the number of boys in each class numbers the same is nothing but equal to the number of girls in each class. See, understand, boys, I mean, the classes will have only either boys or only girls. It is not going to be a mix of boys and girls, right? So whichever class has got boys has got the same number of boys as the classes which have got the number of girls. You understand? What is the number of classes? The question is, what is the number of classes? What is the number of classes? So in a nutshell, I think 391 boys, 323 girls, they have been divided. So we are forming classes for boys and classes for girls. The condition is that they have been divided into largest possible equal classes. The class size should be as large as possible. Right? Class size should be as large as possible. And it should also follow the condition that the number of boys in each class is same as the number of girls in the classes of girls. The number of boys in the classes of boys should be same as the number of girls in the classes of girls. Now, to explain you using numbers, let me take an example. For example, here he said that there are 391 boys and 323 girls. 391 boys and 323 girls. Number of boys and number of girls. Now here it's a little bit of challenge, but let's say there are 100 boys and 100 girls. What happens? What happens in this case if there are 100 boys and 100 girls? See, we want the class size to be as large as possible. Largest possible equal classes. The class size should be as large as possible and the size should be equal for all the classes. If there are 10 students in first class, there should be 10 students across all the classes. If there are 23 students in one class, there should be 23 students in all the classes that have been formed. And the size should be as large as possible. So if 23 can be 24, you should consider 24. If 24 can be 47, you should consider 47. So if I take 100 boys and 100 girls, what happens? I can simply say that there are two classes. There is one class of 100 boys, one class of 100 girls. So number of boys in the class 100, number of girls in the class 100, and total number of classes will be 2. Suppose there are 110 boys and 100 girls. Then what happens? The number of classes cannot be taken as 2. Because, I mean, can I now say that boys will be 110 and girls will be 100 in their respective classes? No. Because number of boys should be equal to the number of girls in each class. The class of boys has got 110 students. The class of girls has got 100 students. Is it equal? No. This condition is getting violated. The second condition is getting violated. We cannot have 110 and 100 as students. So number of classes cannot be 2. Then what should we do? We should try and divide them in such a way that the size is as large as possible and the number of boys and number of girls per class are equal. So I think what we can do is divide them in I think sets of 10. So 10 boys per class, 11 classes, 10 girls per class, 10 classes, 11 plus 10, 21 classes. Now how do we decide the number? The number is simply the HCF of the given values. HCF of 110 and 100 is equal to 10. So number of students per class should be 10. So if there are to be 10 students per class, number of classes for boys will be 110 by 10, which is 11. Number of classes for girls will be 100 by 10, which is 10. 11 plus 10 is 21. Similarly, in the previous case, see, previous case was easy to crack because there were 100 and 100 students, right? HCF of 100 and 100 is 100 itself. Highest common factor between 100 and 100 is 100. So I can say that number of boys in the class is 100, number of girls in the class is 100, there are only two classes. Let's say there are 75 boys and 25 girls. In this case, what will happen? Same. See, we want the class size to be largest, right? So this largest is indicating that you have to take the highest common factor. So I'll consider the highest common factor of 75 and 25. What is the HCF of 75 and 25? 25. There can be 25 students per class. If there are 25 students per class, then the number of classes for boys will be how much? 75 by 25. 75 boys, I can have 25 boys per class. Number of classes will be 3. 25 girls per class. Number of classes will be 1. 3 plus 1, 4. In this case, the number of classes will be 4. So this is the requirement. He's asking us to find out the number of classes that will be there. There will be 2 classes in this case. There will be 21 classes in this case. There will be 4 classes in this case. So what do? Find out the highest common factor between the numbers and then divide the total number of students by the highest common factor to get the required answer. You're able to follow? Let me take one more value. For example, let's say there are 36 boys and there are 42 girls. 36 boys and 42 girls. Can I take a class size of 36? No, not possible. Because if I take the class size as 36, number of girls should also be 36. Then the remaining girls are 6. But there cannot be a class of 6 girls, right? The number of students per class should be equal. Can I take the class size as 42? No. If you take 42 students in one class, number of girls will have one class. But boys are less than 42, so not possible. Can I take the class size as 8? Throwing some random number. Can I take the class size as 8? No. Because if you take 8 students, number of classes for boys is not possible at all. Because this will be like, 4.5, right? 36 by 8 is 4.5. So you cannot have 4.5 classes. So basically I'm looking for a number which is common for both 36 and 42 and the highest between them. I'm looking for a factor of 36 and 42. That number should divide 36 and that number should divide 42 as well. Like for example, I can take 7. 42 by 7 is 6. But is 36 divisible by 7? No. So 7 cannot be the number. That number should be a factor for both 36 and 42. And it should be the highest such factor because I'm trying to form the largest class possible there, right? So I have to consider the HCF. HCF of 36 and 42. What is the HCF of 36 and 42? 6. 6 is the highest common factor between 36 and 42. It's a factor of 36, it's a factor of 42 as well, and the highest such factor. So I can now say that the number of students per class have to be 6. So how many classes for boys? 36 by 6, 6. How many classes for girls? 42 by 6, 7. 6 plus 7, 13. So the answer in this case will be 13. There will be 13 classes. So to find out the strength of the class, you have to take the HCF. To find out the number of classes, you have to take the total strength divided by the HCF. In this case, there are 391 boys and there are 323 girls. So largest strength, that's what I've already explained to you. Largest strength will be the highest common factor between 391 and 323, which is equal to 17. So 17 is not the answer. All those who have marked 17 are wrong. 17 is not the answer. 17 is the strength of the class. 17 is the maximum number of students that can be there in each class. Why is it 17? Because 17 divides 391. 17 also divides 323. And it's the highest such number that divides both 391 and 323. So basically the highest common factor. He's asking us to find out the number of classes. Number of classes will be equal to what? Total number of students divided by strength per class. So 391 plus 323 divided by 17. Do the calculation. It comes out to be 42. So option 3, 42 is the right answer. Disappointed again. Why? Everybody got 17, right? Many of you had marked 17 except Neeraj Jha. Neeraj, good job, man. 42 is the right answer, and I'm glad that you marked your answer as 42 even after seeing that everybody else has got 17. And I think that shows the confidence, right? Many times it so happens that when your answer is not matching with most of the other students, you tend to fear, right? You're not very sure about yourself. You try to verify your own answer. But I think in this case, Neeraj has shown that confidence. So I think I really appreciate that, and I really don't appreciate others. What is this? 17. 17 is the strength, Baba. Answer is 42. He's asking. See, this is a lot more disappointing because you had solved 90% of the problem. Getting 17 is the most important point here. Having got 17, if you go wrong because you have not read the question properly, then it's a blunder. If you had told me that I'll skip this question because I don't know how to solve it, I would have been happier. कि चलो कुछ नहीं आता है. 17 आने के बाद अगर आप सही आंसर मार्क ना करें, it's like this, right? 35 is the pass mark. One person got 34, other person got 14. Who should feel bad? Both of them have failed. The person who's got 14 has failed. The one who's got 34 has also failed because the cutoff was 35. Who will feel more bad? The one who's got 34, no? It's like so close to clearing the cutoff. Right? As 14 वाला भी like ऐसे भी जाने वाला था, क्या होता? 2-4 marks और भी आ जाते तब भी फेल होना नहीं था. 20 marks और आ जाते तब भी फेल होना था. Even if he had scored 14 more or 20 more, he would have failed. But this fellow just one more mark and he would have cracked it. So I think my problem is more because you got 17 and you did not complete it, right? If you had marked 23 or 19, I would have felt like, okay, gone case. This fellow doesn't know anything. But everybody got 17 and then got stuck. Not done. So I think a good choice of questions. क्या? हाँ, नीरज को बधाई दो. सभी लोग नीरज को बधाई दो, right? अनुभव से बधाई नीरज. It's a bad day. Yeah, Isha, you're right. Abhishek says options are created in such a way that even the wrong answer that I got while solving it, that exactly is what happens in this exam, right? I mean, a genuine paper or a paper which has got, I mean, that's how you're trapped, right? I mean, if I have to set a paper, I'll make sure that all the four options or 5 options are given in such a way that, the most commonly committed answers are given first. In fact, here 17 is the 4th option. If I were the paper setter, I would have given 17 as the first option. Then the confidence will rise. 17, the first option, right? You'll mark and go to the next one, right? In fact, you see, even 23 and 19 are correct answers. I mean, correct answers as in not really correct, but if you divide 391 by 17, you'll get 23. If you divide 323 by 17, you'll get 90. So all the 4 options are, numbers which are involved in the solution here, right? Shomu says these are tricky, don't panic. You should not panic, yeah, but then feel bad. Sharmishta Ghosh says this time I made a crime, I left the sum incomplete. Yeah, if you had left the sum fully, then you would have been better off. Okay, can we go to the next one? Any questions here? लाइव सेशन कितनी देर में ख़त्म होगा? ख़त्म होगा जब होगा, मतलब जिस तरह से आप लोग रेस्पॉन्ड कर रहे हो आज, लगता है कि अभी बंद कर दूं यार. मतलब 4 क्वेश्चन हमने सॉल्व किए, 4 या 5, इन सभी में इतनी गड़बड़ है. लेट्स सी, विल ट्राई एंड सॉल्व. 8 o'clock इज़ द टाइम. शेड्यूल टाइम इज 6 to 8, बट आई एम वेरी lazy. I'm usually very late in completing my session. I'm like the Indian Railways. I'm not, all due respect, kind of getting better these days. The Indian Railways, not me. But yeah, always late. I have to work on that. Chalo, so shall we go to the next one now? All right. Somebody says I am not able to take HCF. Go back and get your basics right. LCM and HCF is a very important concept. Go check the video and learn how to find out LCM and HCF. Presenting the next question to you all. This should be a setter, and if you go wrong here, I'm telling you, I'll close the session and get lost. I mean, I'm not going to discuss the next question if you guys commit a mistake here. And you'll have just 30 seconds for this. Your time starts now. In a motor of 120 machine parts, 5% parts were defective. In another motor of 80 machine parts, 10% parts were defective. For the 2 motors considered together, the percentage of defective machine parts were, I'll count up to 15. Do not put pen on paper and solve this one. 15 on the count of 15. So here we start. 15, and I'm gonna disturb you a lot by counting these numbers. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time's up. Okay, so only one response when the time was up. Sumit Kumar Pandit, he has got 7 as the answer. I'll give you a few more seconds. I know it was distracting when I was reading the numbers. So a few more seconds, but let me tell you, 15 seconds is more than enough to crack this. Amit Negi, Vimal, Pradeepa, Prateek, Varsha, Tanya, Abhijit, Sarmishta, Shailendra, Roshni, Hani Singh, Sharmishta. Sharmishta, stop. You have marked the answer once. You have got it right. Ajit, Nitin, Nisha, Ashwatha, Nilesh Chaudhary, Abhishek. Sharmishta, you won't be awarded 5 marks when you answer 5 times, right? You'll get only 1 mark. So please control your emotions. Bhavani and others have got 7 as the answer. So let's take this up. In a motor of 120 machine parts, 5% parts were defective. In another motor of 80 machine parts, 10% parts were defective. For the 2 motors considered together, the percentage of defective machine parts were. So simple question. In a motor where there are 120 parts, 5% parts were defective. 5% of what? 5% of 120. 5% of 120 is equal to 6. In another motor of 80 machine parts, there are 80 parts here, of which 10% parts are defective. What is 10%? 10% here will be on 80, right? So 10% of 80 is 8. Now, for the 2 motors considered together, the percentage of defective machine parts. What's the total defective parts? 8 plus 6, 14. Out of total, how many parts? 120 plus 80. You're getting it? So total defective parts is 8 plus 6. Total parts is 120 plus 80. Percentage calculation, so into 100. So 14 upon 200 is 7. 7%. Option 1 is your answer. Here's the next question. I'll give you 1 minute for this. Your time starts now. 2 to the power of 51 plus 2 to the power of 52 plus 2 to the power of 53 plus 2 to the power of 54 plus 2 to the power of 55 is divisible by 23, 58, 124, 127. 1 minute. Let's see how many of you get the right answer. All right. Well, I got to grab something in the break. I'm very hungry. Okay, 124. I see 124 as the most common response, right? Hani, Single, Snigdha Rani, Shailendra Kumar, Rishika Menon, Shomu Banerjee, Varsha, Abhishek, Manisha, Swapna. Tanmay has got 58, which is also one of the answer options there, but most of you have got 124, right? Murli, Sumit, Chandraneeraj, Manoja, Mamta. Deepak has got no idea. And then we have Genome, who's got 124. Vikram has got 23, which is option 1. Pallavi, Anubha, Tanya, Sumit Kumar. Good. So feeling better finally. And yeah, the most common response, like I said, is 124, option 3. So let's discuss this now. Look at the question. It says 2 to the power of 51 plus 2 to the power of 52 plus 2 raised to 53 plus 2 raised to 54 plus 2 raised to 55 is divisible by, right? Now do you crack this? Options have been given to you, right? 23, 58, 124 and 127. See how do we do it? 2 raised to the power of 51, 2 raised to 52 plus 2 raised to 53. Don't write this step in the exam, right? It won't fetch you extra marks. I'm just copying the question again. Plus 2 raised to 55 is divisible by what? What can you divide this by? Now, what is there are 5 terms here. Total 5 terms, right? What is the most, what is the common value among all these 5 terms? Now, while the numbers are actually large, right? 2 to the power of 55 is going to be a very big number, but since these are expressed in terms of exponents, you can very easily find out the common part, right? 2 to the power of 51 is the common value among all the 5 values here, right? So 2 to the power of 51 can be taken as common. So what happens? This will be equal to 2 to the power of 51 into 1. Yes or no? 2 to the power of 51 into 1 is 2 power of 51 plus. See, 2 to the power of 52, this can be split as 51 plus 1. This is 51 plus 2, 51 plus 3, 51 plus 4. You understand what we are doing? You know that when the bases are equal and in multiplication form, the powers can be added. A power x into a power y equals to a power x plus y. So I'm expressing the powers here as x plus y and then splitting it accordingly. So 2 to the power of 52 will become 2 to the power of 51 into 2 to the power of 1. 2 to the power of 53 will become 2 to the power of 51 into 2 to the power of 2 and so on. So 2 power 51 is common. So that way if you just proceed, you'll get 1 plus 2 power 1. So basically this is 2 power 0. 2 power 0 is 1, you all know, right? So 2 power 0 plus 2 power 1 plus 2 power 2 plus 2 power 3 plus 2 power 4. Simplify this. So 2 power 51 is common. What do we have here? 2 power 0 is 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, which is 2 power 51 into, what is the total here? 24, 28, 30, 31 into 31. So this is the number. Finally, this complex looking expression has been simplified as 2 power 51 multiplied by 31. So I can say that this number is divisible by 31, but 31 is not there in the options. Yes or no? 31 is not there in the options. It's not there in the options. Then try and find out. You can still do one thing. You can again split 2 power 51 into parts there to see if you find something, right? Like for example, this can be taken as 2 power 50, or yeah, let me straight get to the answer. 2 power 49 into 2 power 2 into 31. Yes or no? Bases are equal and in multiplication form, so powers can be added. 49 plus 2 is 51. So we have not changed anything. We have just split as 2 power 49 into 2 power 2 into 31. Now look at this. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 31 is 124. So this number can be expressed as 2 power 49 into 124. That's it. 124 is there in the option, so I can say that is divisible by 124. Yes or no? 2 power 49 into 124. This is divisible by 124, right? 124 and 124 gets cancelled. We will be left with 2 power 49. So option 3, 124 is the final answer. I hope all of you have got that. Rishika Menon says consensus is something dangerous today. Yeah, looks like it has been so all this while. But in this one, I think, yeah, the consensus was on the right side, right? 124 is in fact the correct answer, which most of you had got. And those who all had got 58 and 23, just check your solutions again. 31 and then all the multiples of 31 can be taken as the answer, right? It's not 124. 31 is also a correct answer, but 31 was not there in the options. 62 is a correct answer, but 62 is not there in the options. 93 is the correct answer. 93 is not there in the options. Hold on, 93 cannot be the answer. 31 and all the even multiples of 31. Sorry. 93 cannot be the answer. 31 into, see, we can take 2 outside from 2 power 51. We can take 4 outside. We can take 8 outside. We can take 16 outside and so on. So 31 times powers of 2 can be the answers. You know, 31 into any power of 2 up to 51 can be taken as the answer. So 31 into 2 power 0, which is 31, possible answer. 31 into 2 power 1, 62, a possible answer. 31 into 2 power 2, 124 is a possible answer. 31 into 2 power 3, 2 power 3 is 8. 31 into 8, 248. That's also a possible answer. I think 124 is the correct one here. All right, can we go to the next one now? Sharmisha says it can be done taking 2 to the power of 50. It can be done that way also. We can do that as well. You can take 2 power 50 outside and then you'll get 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32. Possible. Again, you'll have to take 2 common. I mean, finally it is 2 power 49 into something, right? So you can say directly we can take 2 power 49 common and then do it. Yeah, but how do you get that idea? Only when you look at the options, right? So it's always easy in such a case to start with the smallest value possible and then try and proceed with the multiples. Yeah. I mean, I would say you are like really smart if you take 2 power 49 common directly and then say 124 is the answer, but that's not likely to happen with all of us, right? Chalo, I think it's clear to all of you. Let's move to the next question. Okay. Sorry. So the next question on your screens now. If a perfect square is not divisible by 6, when divided by 6, we'll leave the remainder what? 1, 3 or 5, 1, 2 or 5, 1, 3 or 4 or 1, 2 or 4. Simple one, I would say. Don't go wrong here. Take some random values which are perfect squares, divide and verify, right? Substitution is the method. Option 3, 1, 3, 4, huh? But Manas has mentioned that he's got no idea. Manas, like I said, take some perfect squares, divide by 6 and verify. What is complex about it? Okay, here we go. Look at the question. It says, if a perfect square which is not divisible by 6 be divided by 6, the remainder will be, right? If a perfect square which is not divisible by 6, when divided by 6, will give you what remainders. Now, the question is about perfect square. Consider perfect square, right? 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, and so on, right? 49. What comes next? 64 and so on. But not divisible by 6. Perfect square is not divisible by 6. Now 36 is divisible by 6, so exclude. I think remaining are not divisible by 6, at least in the list that we have here so far. So yeah, 36 is excluded. Now if these perfect squares are divided by 6, what will be the remainder? Divide each one by 6 and see what remainders do we get. What remainders do we get? 1 divided by 6, 1, 4 divided by 6, remainder is 4, 9 divided by 6, remainder is 3, 16 divided by 6, 12, and then 4 is a remainder, 25 divided by 6, 1 is a remainder, 36 anyway we are excluding, 49 by 6, so 48 and then 1 is a remainder again, 64 by 6, 4 is a remainder, and so on. So if you observe, the remainders are all what? Either 1 or 4 or 3. We have got no other value so far, right? It is 1 or 4 or 3. Look at the options. 1, 3 or 5? No. 1, 2 or 5? No. 1, 3 or 4? Yes, possible. 1, 2 or 4? No. We have not got 2 as a remainder here so far, right? So when a perfect square, which is not divisible by 6, is divided by 6, the remainder will be either 1 or 3 or 4. Option 3 is the answer. Simple. Next question. Here's the next one. This was posted by Ashwini. Look at it. From Profit and Loss here. But interesting question. A dishonest trader, interesting question, right? A dishonest trader marks his goods up by 80% and gives a discount of 25%. Besides, he gets 20% more amount per kg from wholesaler and sells 10% less per kg to the customer. What is the overall profit percentage? What is the overall profit percentage? what is the overall profit percentage? So I think really an interesting one, a combination of two different question types on profit and loss, but I'm sure you should be able to crack this using some values. So your time starts now. And meanwhile, Sachindra has asked me a question that if 8 is the option, can 8 be the answer? I think I'll like to come to the video for this explanation, right? Just give me 30 seconds. I'll present the question again. So Sachindra, you're saying that if 8 is the option, can 8 be the answer? 8 cannot be the answer. Understand, you are dividing a number by 6. How can the remainder be 8? The maximum remainder that you can get when you divide a number by 6 is 5. When you're dividing a number by x, the highest remainder will be what? X minus 1, right? How can the remainder be 8 when you're dividing by 6? You understand? You're dividing a number by 2. Can the remainder be 3? Not possible. If the remainder is 3 means what? It is divisible by 2 one more time, right? You're dividing a number by 2 again. Can the remainder be 5? No. How can you say remaining is 5? In that remaining 5, again 2 goes 2 times. So it cannot be, remainder is the least possible value that is left out. So remainder cannot be 8. What is happening with you? The maximum remainder there can be 5. Okay? So anyway, I think you have got what I'm trying to explain there. I am presenting the question again, the profit and loss one, which was on dishonest dealer. You have 1 minute, your time starts now. %, is what I see as an answer from at least 2-3 of you, but then 70 is also the answer there. Jagannath has got 50, Ayushi has got 70, Sachindra says both 1 and 3. Okay, so he has got both 70% and 80% the answer. That's interesting. Yeah, so I think if I go by the responses, 80 seems to be the most common one, but then there are a few of you who have got 60 and 70. Let me hear out from others as well, and if you have not got it, please mention the same in the chat. Got it? Not yet? Not getting. Varsha has not got it. Nirmal has not got it. Prabhakar, Nilesh Chaudhary, Prateek, Satish, Genome. These guys are still solving it, or they've got stuck. Sharmishta has also got stuck. Chalo, I'll give you some time. Few more seconds. Let's see. Yeah, Sushant says in that few seconds you can munch something. Well, I've been doing that today at least. But I think, should we discuss the solution now? Yeah, I think I've given you enough time here and you cannot be spending so much time. This also is a simple one. Well, it looks complicated, lengthy, but just play with numbers and I'm sure you'll get the answer really quick. All right, so let me discuss the solution now. Enough time has been given for this. So here we go. The question says a dishonest trader marks his goods up by 80% and gives discount of 25%. Besides, he gets 20% more amount per kg from the wholesaler and sells 10% less per kg to the customer. What is the overall profit percentage? What is the overall profit percentage? So interesting question. I think if you recall the concepts that we have covered in the profit and loss video, we have discussed both the question types separately, and here it's a combination of the two, right? You remember the popular dishonest dealer question, right? A dishonest dealer or a dishonest trader sells his goods in such a way that, you know, he's claiming to be selling it at cost price but gives a lesser quantity. So that part is covered here, right? He gets 20% more from the wholesaler but sells 10% less per kg to the customer. And then we have also discussed about markup, price and discount. You mark up the value, then give a discount, and accordingly you will make some profit. So both the combinations have to be used together here. So let me read the question again. A dishonest trader marks his goods up by 80%. He's marking up the value by 80%. And then he gives a discount of 25%. Besides, right, in addition to this, he gets 20% more amount per kg from the wholesaler and sells 10% less per kg to the customer. What is the overall profit percentage? So he's making profit in two different ways here. One is he's marking up goods by 80%, giving a discount. So obviously he'll make some profit there, but also in terms of quantity that he procures and that he lets out. He's getting 20% more per kg from the wholesaler. So there is an advantage that he has got. But this cheater fellow, what is he doing? He is selling 10% less per kg to the customer, which is unfair. But then he is doing that, right? Dishonest trader. So he makes some profit here as well in terms of quantity. What is the overall profit percentage is the question. What is the overall profit percentage? What we will do here is solve the question in two parts. Let's first focus on the first part here, that a dishonest trader marks his goods up by 80% and gives a discount of 25%. So first of all, let us find out what will be the selling price and cost price in such a case. Forget about the dishonest part. There is a trader who has marked his goods up by 80% and gives a discount of 25%. For the sake of simplicity, I'm repeating again, whenever the question involves percentage based calculation, here is asking us to find out the profit percentage or loss percentage or whatever. Whenever a percentage answer is required, you can start with an assumption. You can assume the initial values to be 100 or, you know, whatever you feel like, and do the calculation according to the given question. It will give you the final answer correctly. I mean, if you follow the conditions properly, you'll get the same correct answer. And we are better off playing with numbers than trying to write equations in such a case, right? So let's assume that the cost price is 100. We are focusing only on the first part. A dishonest trader marks his goods up by 80% and gives a discount of 25%. So cost price is 100. He is marked up by how much? 80%. He is marked up by 80%. So what should be the marked price? The marked price M will be equal to 100, which is the cost price, plus 80%. Yes or no? He's marked up the goods by 80%. So he will increase the price by 80% basically. So 100 plus 80%. 80% of what? 80% of 100. 100 plus 80% of 100 is 180. 80% of 100 is 80. So 100 plus 80, 180. So marked price is 180. Cost price is 100. The marked price is 180. Discount is 25%. Discount is 25%. You all know that discount is always calculated on the marked price. Yes or no? Discount should always be done on the marked price. So 25% of what? 25% of 180. Which comes out to be 45. 25% is 1/4. 1/4 of 180 is 45. What is selling price? Selling price, you all know, is marked price minus discount. Marked price minus discount. So 180 minus 45. 180 minus 45, 135. So basically, for a costing of 100, he sells at 135. For 1 unit cost of 100 rupees, he's selling per unit at 135 rupees. So what is the profit? 35%. I mean, if only this is the question, I can say the profit is 35%. You spend 100 rupees, you make 135 rupees. So profit is 35 over every 100 rupees spent. So 35%. But there's one more part involved here, this quantity case. So that also has to be considered. And let me tell you, you don't have to write all these 6-7 steps or 5-6 steps that we have put here, right? Cut down on the number of steps. In fact, I would say that you should do this calculation mentally. There's nothing complex about it, right? Cost price is 100, mark price will be 180, selling price will be 75% of 180. You don't even have to calculate the discount separately. If you really understand, no need to calculate the discount separately, because you know that if the discount is 25%, selling price will be 75%. If the discount is 10%, selling price will be 90%. If the discount is 12%, selling price will be 88%. All these percentages are on the mark price. So if the discount is 25%, selling price will be 75%. 75% of what? Mark price. 75% of 180 is 135. So you should be good in calculation. That's what I've been telling from day one, right? Practice on how to deal with numbers. That's where most of us waste our precious time. If you can do the calculations quickly, mentally, without having to put pen on paper, you will save a lot of your time, which you will again use to solve more questions. Anyway, so the first part of the question can be solved mentally, where we arrive at the conclusion that the profit is 35% or the selling price is 135 for a spend of 100 rupees. Now look at the second part. What is he saying? Besides, in addition to this, he gets 20% more amount per kg. He gets 20% more per kg from the wholesaler and sells 10% less per kg. 10% less per kg to the customer. See, how are the goods moving here? From the wholesaler. Don't do this drama in the exam. I'm just trying to explain you in detail. From the wholesaler to the trader, and from the trader to the customer. That's how the goods are being moved, right? So what happens while he's taking it from the trader? He takes 20% more. He gets 20% more from the trader, from the wholesaler. But while selling, he sells 10% less. He sells 10% less. You're able to follow? Let's assume all these prices that we have calculated are per kg. 100 rupees per kg, mark price is 180 rupees per kg, discount is 45 rupees per kg. So selling price comes out to be 135 rupees per kg. All these are per kg prices. Now what is happening when he's buying from the wholesaler? He's getting 20% more. So actually, how much will he pay to the wholesaler? He will pay 100 rupees. He'll pay 100 rupees to the wholesaler. Yes or no? How much will the trader pay to the wholesaler? His costing is 100, which means he'll pay 100 rupees to the wholesaler. For how much? For 1 kg. But he gets 20% more from the wholesaler. The wholesaler is running some scheme that I'll give you 20% more. So he actually spends, see, his costing is how much? Costing here is 100 rupees. 100 rupees, not for kg. It is for 1 kg plus 20%. Are you able to follow? 100 rupees for how much? 1 kg plus 20%, because he's getting 20% more, which is equal to 1.2 kgs. You understand? So he's spending 100 rupees for procuring 1.2 kgs. How about his selling price? Selling price is 135 rupees. Now understand, when he's selling to the customer, he's charging 135 rupees. For how much? For 1 kg. The customer assumes that he's getting 1 kg, but this cheater is giving 10% less. He reduces the quantity by 10%, which the customer doesn't realize. So actually the customer is paying 135 rupees for how much? For 0.9 kgs. I mean, he is assuming that he has paid for 1 kg, but what he gets is only 0.9 kg. So basically what happens is the equation changes now. Earlier we had assumed 100 rupees per kg is the cost price, 135 rupees per kg is the selling price. But in the actual case, what comes out is the cost price is 100 rupees for 1.2 kgs and the selling price is 135 rupees for 0.9 kgs. Now, based on these values, you got to find out the profit percentage, which is nothing but your overall profit percentage, because both have been considered. Now, in this case, both have been considered. The marked up and the discount case has been considered along with the change in those quantities. However, there is a challenge. The challenge here is the quantities are different. See, I still cannot take 100 as the cost price and 135 as the selling price, because 100 is the cost price for 1.2 kgs. 135 is the cost price for 0.9 kgs. Remember, whenever you're calculating profit percentage or loss percentage, the quantity should be same. The quantity that you consider for cost price and the quantity that you consider for selling price has to be same. Otherwise, you will end up getting a wrong answer, right? The units sold or the quantity sold has to be same. So one easy way to tackle this is take a common multiple of 1.2 kgs and 0.9 kgs. Accordingly, change the prices and then on those prices, calculate the profit or loss percentage. There are two ways to do it. Find out the price per kg, 100 rupees for 1.2 kg, so how much for 1 kg? 135 rupees for 0.9 kg, so how much for 1 kg? But that is a complex calculation in my view. Easier way to deal with is to take a common multiple of 1.2 and 0.9. And I think a common multiple of 1.2 and 0.9 is 3.6. It's like 12 and 9, right? What's the common multiple of 12 and 9? 36. 12 into 3, 9 into 4. So what I'll do is multiply this first equation by 3 and multiply the second equation by 4. So what happens? By doing that, we get the cost price as follows. 100 into 3, 300 rupees. For how much? 1.2 into 3, 3.6 kgs. What about the selling price? 135 into 4. 135 into 4 is 540. For what quantity? 0.9 into 4, 3.6 kgs. So the costing for 3.6 kgs is 300 rupees. The sale value for the same 3.6 kgs is 540 rupees. Now I can calculate the profit on this. So what's the profit percentage? Profit is 240 rupees, right? 240 rupees on 300 is 80%. You don't have to write this step. Again, like I said, mental calculation. Profit is 240 rupees, 540 minus 300, 240 upon costing of 300, which gives you 80%. So 80% is the overall profit that he gets. 80%. Please do not go by the length of the explanation, right? I am not solving this question. I'm explaining this to you. So it's taken so much of time. When you do it yourself, you'll save a lot of time. I think if I have to highlight all the steps which you need not put on paper, this is not needed. This is not needed. This is not needed. 180, 180 is simple. 45 is simple. 135 is simple. All this is to be done mentally. Again, don't do all this drama in the exam, right? Wholesaler will give it to trader. You're not doing a descriptive paper, right? I think this also can be, the only step that we'll probably put on paper is 100 rupees for 1.2 kgs, 135 rupees for 0.9 kgs. This again is not needed, right? Don't write all the intermediate steps. 100 rupees for 1.2 kgs, 135 for 0.9 kgs, and then maybe you do this, common multiple step and get the required answer. And then please do not do this. If you put 240 by 300 into 100, 0, 0, 0, 0, cancel, 24 by 380 or 240 by 380, then you are wasting your time. So all that you see in yellow should not be put on paper, right? So glad, I think 80% is what most of you had got, and it is the right answer. Others who have got 60 or 70 or 50 have to check your calculation. So I think very easy to solve if you just go by some numbers, right? Any confusions? Can I go to the next one? Pratik says I was able to solve the first part, couldn't understand the second part of the problem. And I think Venkat, you got 55.8, which is of course not there in the options, but how do you get 55.8? Swapna got 65%, which again is not there in the options. Then you change your answer to 32.5, which also is not there in the options. What is happening? Then we have Swarnali here, who's got 68.33. Where are you getting these answers from here? Can you go to the next one? Nitin, yeah, Nitin, what you have done is also right. Like 0.9 kgs selling price is 135 rupees. For 0.3 kgs, it will be 180 rupees. That also can be done. I mean, it's about making the quantity equal. You can make both of them as 1.2, or maybe you can make both of them as 0.9 also, whichever is easy for you. All right, I think time to move to the next one. We are already at 8 o'clock. We have to close the session, but let me take at least a couple of more questions before we close the session today. So here's the next one on mensuration, which is an important topic in your SSC CGL exam. So let's see how many of you get the right answer. A very interesting question, by the way, right? Read what it says. A took 15 seconds to cross a rectangular field diagonally, walking at the rate of 52 meters per minute, and B took the same time to cross the same field along its sides, walking at the rate of 68 meters per minute. The area of the field is. Wow. So this is time and distance clubbed with mensuration. Let's see how many of you get it right. $60. Okay, I can see 60 is the response for this one. Waiting for others. Got that? Yeah, so 60 I think is what I see as the response for this one. But again, we have some who have got 40, there are some who have got 50, right? Satish has got 40, Chandra Neeraj has got 50, and a lot of you have not responded yet. So can you quickly confirm your status? Skipped, struck, solving, need more time, got it? What is it? Done? Deepak says he has skipped it. I'm sure many others have also skipped, or you're stuck in this one. Because only a few of you have responded. All right, let's solve this now. So look at what the question says, right? A took 15 seconds to cross a rectangular field diagonally walking at the rate of 52 meters per minute. And B took the same time to cross the same field along its sides walking at the rate of 68 meters per minute. The area of the field is, options given to us are 30 meters squared, 40 meters squared, 50 meters squared, or 60 meters squared. All right. So interesting one where he has clubbed the concept of time and distance along with mensuration here, right? So he's talking about two persons, A and B. A has taken 15 seconds to cross a rectangular field diagonally walking at the rate of 52 meters per minute, right? While the other person B has taken the same time, which is 15 seconds, to cross the same field along its sides walking at the rate of 68 meters per minute. What is the area of the field? So look at it. The speeds of these two persons are 52 meters per minute and 68 meters per minute respectively. Both of them have taken 15 seconds to cross this rectangular field. The difference is one person, or the first person rather, A, has crossed this field diagonally, and the other person B has crossed the same field along its sides, right? That's the difference. And based on this data, he's asked us to find out the area of the field, right? What is the area of this field? Now let's consider a rectangular field here. You don't have to do all this drama again in the exam, but for the sake of explanation, I'll have to draw it to explain this to you. So let's say A is standing at this point here, right? What is the objective? He wants to cross this rectangular field. He has crossed it diagonally, right? He has crossed it diagonally. So what will A do? A will move, and you know that in a rectangle, the opposite sides are equal, right? So let's say these are the two lengths and here are the breadths. So A crosses it diagonally, right? So A walks along this line, right? And he has reached his destination, right? This is the point they want to reach. So A has reached this point. How much time does it take? 15 seconds, right? A has taken 15 seconds to move in this direction and cross the field. And A's speed, as per the question, is 52 meters per minute, right? A can walk at the rate of 52 meters per minute. And then what does the other person do? B. B took the same time, which is 15 seconds, to cross the same field along its sides. Now, let me show this in a different color. A has crossed it diagonally. What does B do? B will cross the field along the sides. So B starts from the same point. Let's say B starts here from the same point, right? And he crosses the field along the side. So he also has to reach the same point, right? Opposite side, but along the sides. So B is going to travel in this direction, right? B first covers the length and then takes a turn, a 90-degree turn, and covers the breadth, reaches this point. How much time did B take? B has also taken the same time, 15 seconds, to cross the field along the sides. And B's speed is given as 68 meters per minute. 68 meters per minute. Based on this data, we got to find the area of the field. Now, simple. See, you have been given the time for the two persons and you've been given the speeds. What is missing? The distances are missing. And I think that's what we can calculate based on the diagram that you have drawn, right? What is the diagonal of a rectangle? The diagonal of a rectangle is root over L squared plus B squared, right? You got to apply Pythagoras theorem there. So what A has actually covered, the distance covered by A is root over L squared plus B squared. What is the distance covered by B? L plus B. So if you look at it, A has taken 15 seconds at the speed of whatever, 52 meters per minute, 15 seconds here, right? And he has covered a distance of root over L squared plus B squared. While B, on the other hand, has taken the same time, 15 seconds, at a speed of what? 68 meters per minute, 68 meters per minute. And he has covered a distance of L plus B, right? He has covered a distance of L plus B, right? First the length and the breadth, or whichever way, first the breadth and the length. The distance covered by B is L plus B. Now, you know the time and speed. Can you find out the distances? Yes. So basically, indirectly, we have been given two equations, root over L squared plus B squared and L plus B. Once you find out the values of these two equations, meaning the equations are formed, you can solve the two to get the required answer, right? He's asking us to get the area of the field. Area of the field is nothing but L into B. So basically, we are working on two variables, L and B, which can be evaluated using the two conditions given to us. Now, easy way to calculate is as follows, right? 15 seconds, you know, is 1/4 of a minute. So both of them have taken 1/4 of a minute to cover the distances. Now, from this data here, can I say the distance, which is root over L squared plus B squared, See, what is distance? Distance is speed into time, right? Distance is equal to speed into time. 52 meters per minute into 1/4 of a minute. Speed is 52, time is 1/4. So this comes out to be 52 into 1/4. That is the reason we have converted seconds to minutes. Remember, whenever you're dealing with time and distance or questions related to time, speed and distance, the units have to be balanced. In fact, in any case, the units have to be balanced, but mostly we have to do this when you're dealing with time and distance problems, right? Like, minutes to seconds, seconds to minutes to hours, kilometers, meters, etc. All these units have to be balanced before you do the calculation. So 15 seconds converted to minutes is 1/4. So 52 into 1/4, which is equal to what? 13. Yes. So root over L squared plus B squared is 13, or further simplified as L squared plus B squared equals to 169. That's equation 1. Do the same thing in the second case. What happens? B here. So from this we find that the distance covered is L plus B. Distance is equal to speed into time again. So 68 into 1/4. Same case, 1/4 of a minute. 68/4 is 17. So we get L plus B equals to 17. Now you don't really have to worry about how to evaluate the values of L and B from these two equations. I mean, you can in fact use those basic identities from algebra, right? L plus B the whole square equals to L squared plus B squared plus 2LB, and then L minus B the whole square equals to L squared plus B squared minus 2LB. But instead of doing all that drama, you just look at these numbers and you'll know what the two values are, right? 169, if you have to split as L squared plus B squared, I think the only way to do it is 144 and 25. You getting it? I mean, that's the first thing that strikes you if you have done enough calculations. 169, if you have to break it as sum of two squares, it should be 144 and 25. See, I'm sure if I can do this, you guys can also do that, right? There's nothing complex about it. Or just deal with those algebraic identities to evaluate L and B. So I think overall, the conclusion here would be that L is 12. See, 144 plus 25 is like 144. L squared is 144 and B squared is 25. 144 is what? 12 squared. 25 is 5 squared. So that's what happens here, right? 12 plus 5 is 17. 12 plus 5 is 17. So I can say L is equal to 12. L is equal to 12 and B is equal to 5. What is he asking us to get? The area. Area is L times B. 12 times 5 is 60. So 60 meters squared is going to be the final answer. Again, it doesn't take as much time. Do not go by the length and the time taken to explain this. You will get 60 as the final answer. All right. Isha says, I'm getting the answer which is nowhere in the option. Yeah, which means you have done something wrong. Sharmishta also says, I am not able to get the problem because some weird answer is coming. Now, you have goofed up somewhere. I mean, just look at the calculation again and I'm sure you'll be able to follow. Yeah, so I think overall it's an easy one. It's just that you got to get the idea of finding out the distance in terms of L and B for both the persons A and B, right? L squared plus B squared is one and L and B is the other. Nirmal has asked a question. Nirmal says, how to solve if you don't get L and B directly? See, I think, Nirmal, I have already explained you, right? You have to just use one equation, one basic formula from algebra to get the answer. What is L plus B the whole squared? L plus B whole squared would be L squared plus B squared plus 2LB. You know what is L plus B. You also know what is L squared plus B squared. What you will get there is 2LB. From 2LB, get LB. In fact, I think that's easier if you look at it. Yeah, let me do one thing. I'll just go back to the presentation and do the other solution as well for you if you're getting confused with that. So 12 times 5, 60 comes out to be the answer. But in case you're not able to get these values directly, right, 144 and 25, then follow these steps. What do we do? L plus B whole squared is equal to L squared plus B squared plus 2LB. Now substitute the values L plus B 17, 17 squared equals to L squared plus B squared is given as 169 plus 2LB. So what do we get? See, 17 squared is 289. So 2LB will be equal to 289 minus 169, which is 120. From that, LB equals to 60. What is so complex about it? Again, you do not have to put 4 steps, right? 60 is the answer. Option 460 is the answer. Now, let me also highlight one important point. I'm sure at least 10, 15, 20% of you guys will get struck for B. You would have considered 2 times of L plus B instead of L plus B, right? Like in case of B, the distance covered is considered as L plus B here, but maybe you have taken it as 2 times of L plus B because the question says B took the same time to cross the same field along its sides. So along its sides means what? This length and then breadth and then length and then breadth. So that's like covering the entire perimeter of the rectangle, right? So 2L plus 2B or L plus B plus L plus B, which is 2 times of L plus B. But try and understand that it very clearly states that B took the same time to cross the same field. You got to stress on that word cross there, right? B has to cross the field. Now, if you cover the entire perimeter, don't you come back to the same position from where you had started? And coming back to the same position doesn't mean that you have crossed the field, right? Crossing the field means what? You want to go to the other side, the opposite end, right? The diagonally opposite end. Like what A has done. Difference is he is going along the sides. He is not going along the diagonal. So it's only L and B. It's not 2 times of L and 2 times of B. So in case that's what has, got you stuck, you should be clear now, right? It's not twice of L plus B. It's just 1 time of L plus B. Once L plus B. Clear? Any more questions there? Can we jump to the next one? Sharmishta says, I thought B took one side, length or breadth, and covered at 15 seconds. That's where I got wrong. Yeah, I think Sharmishta, you also did not pay attention to the word cross. If you only cover the length, have you actually crossed the field? Well, that could also mean crossing the field, but you have to compare with A, right? A had crossed the field diagonally. B also is required to cross it. I mean, he also is required to reach the same point. So covering just the length or just the breadth will not let this person cross the field, right? Should we go for the next one? I think time is up. We're already at 8:15 and got to close now, but let me take at least one more before we call it a day. Any more questions there? All right, so thanks for acknowledging that you're all clear with this and I can go to the next one. But before I take that, Satish has been asking something. He says, are these questions from the previous papers? Well, yes, these are the questions which have been chosen from last year's SSC CGL exam paper. And this should actually give you an idea of what the difficulty level is, right? Well, don't again understand or believe that the same would be continued even this year, right? Like I always say, the most predictable thing about these exams, bank or SSC exams, is unpredictable, right? They can change the difficulty level. They may ask you tougher questions this time, or they may ask you easier questions this time. But it's always good to be prepared with the previous papers as well. I mean, that kind of gives you a sense of confidence, right? You can walk into the examination hall confidently that I've done all that I'm supposed to do, right? Okay, so let's move to the next one. Ready? Yeah. Let me bring up the next one. I think I've got a few more questions, but since we have limited time, let me take something very interesting before we close it. So here's the next question. Now this is on pipes and cisterns, pipes and tanks. See what it says? A tank is connected with 8 pipes. Some of the pipes are inlets and the rest work as outlets. Each of the inlet pipes can fill the tank in 8 hours individually, while each of the outlet pipes can empty it in 6 hours individually. If all the pipes are kept open when the tank is full, it will take exactly 6 hours for the tank to empty. How many of these are inlet pipes? How many of these are inlet pipes? Right, so 8 pipes in all. Some are inlets, the other are outlets. Inlet pipes takes 8 hours individually to fill the tank. Outlet pipes take 6 hours individually to empty the tank. If all these are opened simultaneously when the tank is full, it takes exactly 6 hours for the tank to empty. How many of these are inlet pipes? You have just more than a minute to try this. And since this is the last question for the session today, I want all of you to try hard and get the right answer, right? Take your own time, but don't commit those silly mistakes which you have been doing all along the session today. So your time starts now. Got it? Oh, I guess Shomu has mentioned that we have solved this in one of the earlier sessions. Well, I don't remember if we have taken it up in the earlier session. But then it looks like all of you have got the answer as 4, right? 4 inlet pipes. Yeah? Neeraj, Chandra Neeraj, Abhishek, Tanmay, Tanya, Isha, Sushant Singh, Shomu Banerjee. Not many have responded, by the way. Varsha, Isha. Okay, so shall we discuss this now, or you need more time? Yeah, I think Abhijit has acknowledged that I should discuss this now. So let's start. Here we go. It says a tank is connected with 8 pipes. Some of the pipes are inlets and the rest work as outlets. Each of the inlet pipes can fill the tank in 8 hours individually, while each of the outlet pipes can empty it in 6 hours individually. If all the pipes are kept opened when the tank is full, it will take exactly 6 hours for the tank to empty. How many of these are inlet pipes? So I think an interesting one from Pipes and Systems, where it says that a tank has got total 8 pipes, right? 8 pipes in all, of which some are inlets. Some of the pipes are inlets and the rest work as outlets, right? So there are only 2 types. Either it can work as an inlet or an outlet. Now, how many of these are inlets and how many are outlets is not given to us. And I think that's what we need to find out. How many of these are inlet pipes? Out of these 8 pipes, how many are inlet pipes is the question. But what we know about these pipes is that each of the inlet pipes can fill the tank in 8 hours individually, right? Independently, each of the pipes can fill the tank in 8 hours, while each outlet pipe can empty it in 6 hours. Outlet pipes can empty it in 6 hours. So inlet capacity is 1 by 8, outlet capacity is 1 by 6 or minus 1 by 6 if you consider negative positive work there. If all the pipes are kept open when the tank is full, if all the pipes are open, meaning all the 8 pipes, inlet as well as outlet, it will take exactly 6 hours for the tank to empty. It will take exactly 6 hours for the tank to empty. How many of these are inlet pipes? Simple. Let's assume that the number of inlet pipes are I. So tell me what will be the number of outlet pipes? Number of outlet pipes would be 8 minus I. Because total is 8, right? Total 8 pipes. Inlet is I, outlet has to be 8 minus I. And our requirement is I. I is equal to what is the question, right? What is I is the question. Now each of the inlet pipes can fill the tank in 8 hours. Outlet pipe can empty it in 6 hours. All the pipes are kept open. The tank is takes 6 hours to empty the tank. So since we are talking about emptying the tank, you got to understand that emptying is a positive work and filling is a negative work. In this scenario, what are we looking at? We are looking at total time is given as 6 hours. 6 hours for the tank to empty. So our job is to empty the tank. When your job is to empty the tank, inlet pipes are considered to be doing negative work. Outlet pipes are considered to be doing positive work. So that way I can say, see, each of the outlet pipe takes 6 hours. So the capacity is 1 by 6. But how many such pipes? 8 minus I pipes. Minus of each of the inlet pipe takes 8 hours. So capacity is 1 by 8 and I such pipes. And the total capacity is what? 1 by 6. Total capacity is 1 by 6. So why is it 1 by 6? Because it takes 6 hours. We are trying to find out the total capacity. This is the capacity equation. So 8 minus I outlet pipes, their capacity is 1 by 6. So 1 by 6 into 8 minus I. I inlet pipes, capacity is 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 into I. We are doing negative for this one because we are emptying the tank overall. And total time it takes is 6 hours. So capacity is 1 by 6. Now simplify this, what happens? What do we get? This is like, yeah, let's take 1 by 6 to the other side. So we get 8 minus I minus 1 by 6 equals to I by 8. Right? You're able to follow. This 1 by 6 goes to the other side, becomes minus 1 by 6. So 1 by 6 is common. 8 minus I minus 1 in the numerator. And this minus 1 by 8 into I goes on the other side. Now simplify this. So this is like 7 minus I. This is 3 times and 4 times. So basically 7 4s 28 minus 4I equals to, this is 3I. So overall 7I equals to 28, which implies I is equal to 4. So number of inlet pipes are 4. Yeah, and that's what we need. How many are inlet pipes? 4 inlet pipes. Or outlet pipes. Outlet pipes is 8 minus 4, 4. 4 inlet and 4 outlet. Yeah. So the question is lengthy. If you see 4 lines, but solution is very simple. This is the only equation that you have to frame. One equation and you get the answer. Just one equation to get the answer. Right? One equation will give you the final answer. So the number of inlet pipes is 4. All right? Clear to all of you? Any confusion? I think not many had responded, although this was discussed in the past according to Shomu. Anyway, I hope all of you have followed the solution. Should we close it? I think we'll take one more question. Let's just quickly take one more and then close the session. So here we go. Not very complex in my view, but let's see how many of you get the right answer. Be quick. This is on mensuration again. It says the perimeter of 5 squares are 24, 32, 40, 76, 80. The perimeter of another square equal in area to the sum of the area of these squares is 31, 62, 124 or 961. You have 45 seconds for this. Your time starts now. Got it? All right, so let's look at the solution now. The perimeter of 5 squares are 24 centimeters, 32 centimeters, 40 centimeters, 76 centimeters, and 80 centimeters respectively. The perimeter of another square equal in area to the sum of the area of these squares is. So simple question, it's all about dealing with these numbers very quickly, right? So perimeter of 5 squares have been given to us, 24, 32, 40, 76, and 80. From the perimeters, can you find out the side? Yes, you know that perimeter is 4 times the side. So the side of this square will be 4, the side of this one will be 8, this will be 10, 76 by 4 is 19, and 80 by 4 is 20. So we have got to know the sides of each of these squares, 4 centimeters, 8 centimeters, 10 centimeters, 19 centimeters, and 20 centimeters. We have to find out the perimeter of another square equal in area to the sum of the area of these squares. So first of all, find out the area of the bigger square. What is the area, overall area of the square? It is equal to the sum of the area of these square. What is area of a square? Side square. So 4 squared plus 8 squared plus 10 squared plus 19 squared plus 20 squared. From this you get the area. From that area you have to get the perimeter. So once you get the area, find out the side, and then 4 times the side will give you the answer. Simple. So it's all about quick calculations here. Now what is the area, total area? 4 squared 16 plus this is 64, 80 plus 100 is 180 plus 19 squared is 361, right? So 180 plus 361 is 541. 541 plus sorry, what did we get? Once again, this is 361 and here is 400. Yeah, so 16 plus 64, 80 plus 100, 180. 180 plus 361 is 541. 541 plus 400 is 941. Is not something wrong there? Oh, I'm sorry. 24 by 4 is 6. I'm sorry about this. Because I'm not getting a perfect square. That's what I was wondering. It cannot be 941, right? 941 under root will not give me a perfect value. This is 6. 24 by 4 is 6. So blunder, I think I'll get minus 0.25. Not minus 0.25 because the answer is not matching. I'll do a verification, but I wasted my time here. Yeah, so 6 squared. It should be 6 squared. 6 squared is 36. Yeah, 36 and 64 is 100. 100 and 100 is 200. 561 and 400 is 961. 961 is the area, which implies the side is what? 31, and perimeter is 4 times the side. So 4 times of 31 is 124. Option 3 will be the answer. Well, I wanted to end it on a good note for all of you, but I think it was not so good one for me here. Blunder. 24 by 4 is 6. How can I take it as 4? Yeah, so these things do happen. I understand. Not because it has happened to me now. It can happen. I mean, I also agree when it happens with you guys, but you have to be careful, extra careful. Anyways, got the answer. 124. Option 3 is the correct one. And on that note, let's close it here. Thank you all for joining us in this session. I hope you've had a great session. Please share your valuable feedback, if any, and keep practicing. I think your exam is just a couple of weeks away, like I said, and you got to work really hard, right? These 2 weeks are not going to come back. So make sure that you practice as much as possible, leave nothing for chances, complete all your basics, fundamentals, and you know, all the concepts that you need to learn, and also try and, you know, work not just on your subject but also on your behavior there, because like I always say, these competitive exams are, you know, not a test of your knowledge. It is a test of your state of mind, right? How are you going to behave in that 1 hour of your exam, right? I mean, what are they trying to do? They're just trying to put you under pressure. Like many of you have asked me in the past, and you know, it happens many times when I meet students. The question that they ask is, why do they test us on aptitude? How is this going to play anything, any role in our job, right? I mean, when I'm working in a government job or going to work in a government department or a bank for that matter, how does this aptitude really matter? I think the idea is that they're trying to put you under pressure. What they're trying to see is, how do you perform under pressure? What do companies look for? What do organizations look for? What do these departments look for, right? I mean, any IT job for that matter, they conduct a aptitude test. because what they're looking for is not really your aptitude, but they're looking for candidates who can perform under pressure. And this is the best way to test how you perform under pressure, right? 9th and 10th standard level questions, but very limited time, right? So I think the key skill that they're looking at is not really time management, but how do you work under pressure? And if you can clear this, then they know that, yeah, these guys are suitable. And of course, there are other rounds depending on the domain that you're applying for, but the idea is to check your behavior and not your aptitude literally there. Anyways, keep practicing. I think that's the shortcut. The more you practice, the easier it gets, right? And practice helps you reduce your imperfections, right? So keep practicing. We'll meet again on today's what? Saturday? Yeah, today's Thursday. We'll meet again on Saturday. That session, I guess, will be a regular doubts clarification session. And also we are going to meet tomorrow, Friday, right? Tomorrow, Friday at 6 p.m. will be a session on geometry. So see you all tomorrow in your special live session for SSC CGL exam on geometry. Till then, keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. Bye.